The most common question people ask when it comes to growing their business is, how do I get more leads? And I totally understand because, with their current level of sales opportunities, consults, assessments, trials, they're just not seeing enough people that result in new client growth. So the assumption is, hey, I need more leads. And that's fair, and maybe that's the problem, or at least part of the problem. But I will tell you that most people really kind of leave some open opportunity when it comes to both the follow-up process and the conversion process. So in today's episode, I want to talk with you about dialing in your conversion process, because I think there's a lot of kind of misunderstanding and maybe even angst when it comes to selling. I think that most people don't love asking for money in our industry, whether it's money hangups or we're asking people to pay for a premium service that maybe we couldn't personally afford, or we can't kind of wrap our head around somebody investing that much. I know I went through a lot of that stuff myself, and it became clear to me when I understood, hey, this is really valuable and I can't impose my current financial status on somebody else. And the life-changing impact that, getting healthier, losing weight, improving self-confidence, life-changing impact, all that stuff can have on somebody is probably more valuable than almost anything else they could invest in. If we're going to talk about conversions, if we're going to talk about taking somebody who is a lead, somebody that you have the opportunity to present your programs to, there are really a few simple steps that I'm going to walk you through really quickly, and I think it could help you tremendously when it comes to just converting more of the leads that you get, and in turn, when you get future leads, it makes every one of them more valuable. So you can invest more in them. You're more eager to spend time if it's a networking thing or just doing organic marketing. So let's talk the conversion process. So the first thing that we want to do is what I call, like, step one is engagement. I want you to build a relationship with the person you're talking to. I think of this as just kind of a natural flow of a conversation, and if you connect with somebody new, there's usually some small talk, right? It's disarming. It allows people to kind of lower their guard and get comfortable. We're not leading with really personal, like intrusive stuff. So, we're going to talk about, where somebody's from, where do they work? Do they have a family? What are their interests? And we're trying to find some common ground. I mean, you'll hear people talk about rapport building or whatever else, but I just think of it as a natural beginning to a conversation. Obviously, we want the conversation to go further. We want the topics to become deeper, but I think that it's almost like a warm up, right? We do warm ups for training. This is a warm up for a more intensive conversation, and it just allows the person you're talking to, who comes in to the environment that we're comfortable in. This is our home. This is our, this is the gym that we spend countless hours, that we do our work. We are in our comfort zone. They're uncomfortable. They may have had negative experiences in a fitness facility before. They may feel insecure. They may feel like, hey, you know what? Everybody here is fit and I don't fit in, or if I have to go be asked to do something, I may look silly. So we want to make them feel more at ease. So that engagement piece, just finding common ground, getting somebody to talk about themselves, getting somebody comfortable, I think that is paramount. And I think that so often people in our industry just kind of skip right through that. They make it feel like a doctor's office or something like that. They are like, hey, fill out this form, and then we're gonna read through this form, and it's just never comfortable. And let's face it, this isn't a doctor's office. This is an optional professional relationship where ideally somebody's going to come see us 2 or 3 days a week. We want them to feel comfortable, because people are not going to invest and then stick around long term in an environment that they're not. The engagement step, I think, is underappreciated, underutilized, and a huge opportunity. The next thing that we want to do, though, is transition to what I think of as discovery. Discovery is simply asking questions and learning about the person in front of you. In our industry, it's very common for people to kind of jump to talking about their program, talking about themselves, trying to validate why they are the best solution, but they don't even know what problem they're trying to solve yet. So I think if you ask somebody open-ended questions about themselves, you're going to learn a lot of information that makes it easier to present your solutions in a way that I think creates more value for the person that you're talking to. Feels more personalized, more individualized. And if you're like most of the people who connect with me through this podcast, you you are an independent business owner, so you aren't one size fits all. You are a in a position where you can be more customized, more personalized. People can feel more connected and have an individual experience. So take advantage of that. So in the discovery phase, you can ask a number of questions. My two favorites are something along the lines of, hey, if we're sitting down together in 6 months, 12 months, what would be a dream come true result for you as it relates to your health, your fitness, your goals? And let them talk. And if they give you a really short answer, just ask them to tell you more. You like to lose weight. Tell me more about losing weight, how much weight you'd like to lose, why that's important to you, and just unpack it a little bit more. Follow along, get them to talk about themselves. And I think it's really important that we allow them to take ownership of the fact that they want to change, that they want something better. Because if they don't, there's no real incentive for them to join a program. So we start there, and we have to let it be theirs. We can't impose our own goals on them, because this is not how people typically make decisions. People, they want to feel in control, and this gives them the opportunity to feel in control. So we want to ask them a great open-ended question like that. I like dream come true result because it's just kind of a disarming question. It's not specific to like implying, hey, you need to lose weight or you need to do this or that. It's not judgmental. It's just kind of a blue skies question. And then because we're tying it to a time frame, 6 or 12 months, we're kind of planting the seed that this isn't immediate gratification. So they can have some constraints. Hey, this is what I can accomplish in this time frame, but this isn't going to happen overnight. So that's the first question. The second question that I love is, well, what do you feel needs to change or happen to get there? And if they don't acknowledge something needs to change or happen to get there, well, they're not ready to change. But if they, again, take ownership, if it's their idea that they need to be more consistent, they need to be more accountable, they need to change their nutrition, they need somebody to guide them and tell them what to do, then selling a program, getting somebody enrolled becomes so much easier. But if we jump in and try to tell them, well, you need to do this, it again, it is not the most persuasive thing. The most persuasive thing is when somebody convinces themselves. So that's the discovery phase. Once we have that information, and you can certainly ask more questions than those two, you can kind of splinter off, ask follow-up questions, but I would encourage you to ask questions that allow them to talk, and then we just prompt them to continue to talk. It will put them at ease. It will make them start to acknowledge that they do need to do something differently if they want a different outcome. So that's discovery. Then we want to talk about value building. Now that we have that information, this is, it is this wonderful asset that we can use to shape the way that we present how we can help. Because really that's what selling is. It is, in our industry, it's helping. And it is guiding somebody, partnering with somebody in a transformation that they want to achieve. It's not a transaction. It is one of those interesting things that, you hear language like closing the sale. Closing implies the end, right? And, for us, this is the beginning. This is really the springboard to a relationship where you're going to be seeing this person multiple times a week. You're going to be really invested in helping them achieve their goals. Their life is going to be kind of interwoven with your business in some ways. So it's important that we're building value with the information that we have to make them feel comfortable in this. And then for us, if somebody tells us they need more motivation, we can talk about how our program provides that. I'm not saying you need to re-engineer your program to each person's specific needs or the things they believe will help them. I'm saying you can highlight the things that matter. I mean, if you've ever been in a health club and gone on a health club tour, they're kind of all the same, right? They take you through and they say, here's the cardio area, here's the selectorized equipment, here's child care, here's the group X room. And they show you a bunch of stuff that frankly you probably don't care about. You probably go into the gym and there are two or three things that you're really excited about, and some of it isn't relevant. What asking questions in the discovery phase and then shaping the way that we build value around the answers does, it basically says, I'm only going to talk about the things that are important to you because I hear you, I understand you, I appreciate what you said, it's important to me. So I'm going to customize the way that I present our program so you can clearly see how we can work together to help you get from where you are to where you want to be. And if they talk about needing to be more consistent, you can talk about how you provide accountability. If they can talk about, needing to have a better nutrition plan, then you can talk about how you solve those problems and help guide people in that way. But again, you don't necessarily have to change what you do, but you can make sure that the pieces of what you do that are most important to them get the spotlight so they can feel comfortable saying, hey, this may be different than the things I've tried in the past. Hey, this may actually be the thing that I've always needed to get to where I want to go. And then finally, we want to present our programs and ask somebody to enroll. When I say programs, I think it is very wise for us to offer alternate choices. We want to give somebody, again, control. We want to create an environment where they feel that this is about them. They have some sense of control. So we want to present 2 to 3 options, really things that we can do for them that will work. And any of the options that we present will work. Now we can frame those options to give more context, right? I can say, hey, 2 times a week is perfect for the person that, meets A, B, and C criteria or has A, B, and C lifestyle. 3 times a week is a great fit for somebody who has, A, B, and C as far as goals or schedule or whatever. And by presenting a couple options, then we can say, well, hey, based on what we've talked about, which one do you think is a better fit for you? Or we can even steer them and say, based on what we've talked about, I think if we have 3 options, I think option A and option B seem like they would be better fits for a place to start. And notice I said a place to start because, we're not locking somebody into something in perpetuity. And trust me, I've sold my first training business in 2004. We were selling 12-month contracts with training when it was unheard of that nobody sold on subscriptions. So I understand the benefit of that, but people want to think about now. They want some immediate gratification. And we want long-term behavior change and we want sustainable stuff. They need to see progress and they want to sustain that progress. But until they've seen progress, there's nothing to sustain that they're going to be excited about. So we presented it that way. We allow them to feel in control. And based on the conversation we've had, we can use that and say, hey, based on the fact that you need more motivation, more accountability, I think that this sort of program, either option A or option B, would be exactly what you need to get to where you want to go. And if we take each lead and we give them that same kind of care, that same type of personal attention, you're going to convert more of them. So every lead that you get becomes significantly more valuable. Every consult, every trial, every assessment you get becomes more valuable. But I see so many people try to shortcut this and they'll try to sell something haphazardly. They'll send out stuff through email. They don't want to have a personal interaction with somebody. Frankly, spending 45 to 60 minutes with somebody going through something like this is probably the highest ROI hour you can spend in your business in a given week, because it's setting the tone for a relationship. It is, it may be the difference between somebody buying a program that's $150 a month versus $200 a month. So multiply that by a couple years, hopefully, with that person. And we're talking about an extra $2,400 by spending a few extra minutes and actually connecting with somebody, listening, and building the way that they see the program in a style that fits their goals, their needs, and allows them to feel like they're making a good decision. So if you want more clients, if you want to convert more of those leads, make every lead more valuable, consider this kind of 4-step approach to selling, and you'll see everything improve.